Today we will be looking at the distributive property. Let us look at this first statement. So what does the following mean? 2 bracket 3x bracket. So this means that we have two groups of 3x. I want to show you guys that there is actually an easier way that we can write this. We can write this in simpler form by multiplying the 2 times the 3x. And we do this by multiplying the 2 times the 3. So we can actually write this in simpler form, which is 6x. In order to get 6x, it is important to realize that we are only multiplying the 2 by the numerical coefficient, so the 3, and therefore we get 6x. So essentially, the variable, which in this case is x, is not changed. So it's important to remember when multiplying by a constant, multiply the coefficients only. So that process is an example of the distributive property. So let's work on our first example. As you can see, we have 3 bracket 2x minus 5 bracket. In order to get rid of these brackets and start the question, we want to use our distributive property and multiply this 3 by each of the terms within the brackets. So our 2x is the first term and our 5 is the next term. So we would do 3 times the first term and 3 times the second term, which is going to give us 6x, because we know we multiply 3 only by the numerical coefficient, and then 3 times our 5 is going to give us minus 15. Our second example here is 2 times a polynomial, 2x squared plus 3x plus 1. So again, to get rid of those brackets, the first thing we have to do is our distributive property. So 2 times each of the terms within the bracket. So 2 times 2x squared, 2 times 3x, and 2 times 1. So again, we know we multiply the coefficient out front by each of the numerical coefficients of the terms within the brackets. So we get 4x squared plus 6x plus 2. And again, that is in the most simplest form because we cannot combine an x squared with an x or with just a simple number. They're all separate terms, so we leave it as that. Now that we've worked through a few examples, these steps will make more sense to you. In summary, to multiply a polynomial by a constant, you first find the product of the constant and every numerical coefficient of the polynomial inside the brackets, and you have to be careful with your signs when you're multiplying. Then you group all the like terms together, and then you simplify so you combine all of the like terms. I just want to point out that this first step, step 1, is actually the process of distributive property. So let's finish this up with an example using these steps, just to summarize everything. So if we have a negative 2 times 3x minus 5 plus 2 times negative 2x minus 10, we can solve it just as we did above. So first things first, we need to distribute this negative 2 through everything in the brackets. So we get negative 6x plus 10, and now we distribute the plus 2 into everything in the second bracket. So we get negative 4x minus 20. Then our next step is our grouping like terms. So we need to group all of the x's together and all of the plain numbers together. So negative 6x minus 4x plus 10 minus 20, which will round out to be negative 10x minus 10, and we can factor out a negative 10. And that is our final answer in simplest form.